Hey y'all, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Katrina and this is Katrina Reads. These are books that are series that I found on Kindle or got a free copy and then just like burned through the whole series and was like super excited. I saw this meme a long time ago where it's this guy laying in the bed and he's got his laptop and he's got this really comically oversized bag of like Cheetos, and it's like how you feel or how I'm gonna be when I find me a new TV show that already has 6 seasons of 22 episodes. That's how I feel when I find a new urban fantasy series or witchy series that has like 9 books already in it and I'm loving the character. That's how I feel. Instead of a TV show, it's a urban fantasy witch series. So the first is called Vampire for Hire series by J.R. Rain, and it's about a stay-at-home mom, a mother, a wife, a soccer mom, a private investigator, and a vampire. She was all those things and then she gets changed into a vampire, and so she has to deal with doing her job like at night and not getting burned, or I think I read this a long time ago, but I think she can be out in the sun, but like she's just kind of like allergic to it or whatever, and she has to wear like sunglasses and things like that. And I just remember her being very much so like, oh my God, how am I supposed to do all of this? How am I supposed to be a mom? Like the first couple of books were like, how am I supposed to be a mom and a vampire? And it's so funny because mom, wife, private investigator, vampire. 6 years ago, federal agent Samantha Moon was the perfect wife and mother, your typical soccer mom with a minivan and suburban home. Then the unthinkable happens, an attack that changes her life forever. And forever is a very long time for a vampire. Okay, so this one, I don't know how to categorize it. It's Magic 2.0 is the series, and it's really fun, light, and weird, funny. It's this guy realizes that he can control reality, but it's not because it's magic like abracadabra, but because he realizes that he's in a game or that life is just a program. And so he goes back in time in the first book and goes to Arthur's court and tries to master his abilities back in medieval times, because he's trying to get away from something in our modern time. It's fun, it's light, it's fast. How many of them are there? There's 6 of them. And I did not know that there were 3 more. I will have to get into that. I read the first 3. The Chronos Files is another series, the first one being Time Bound by Risa Walker. This is another series that's really fun. It's the protagonist is a 16-year-old, but it did not read as a young adult book. And again, I'm going by memory of most of these books and things, and my memory is not the best, and these made a really good impact on me. I gave them high scores. And I continue to look for these authors and see what else they were doing. So that's what I'm basing this on. And it had there's a pretty good amount of books in the series. Another interesting thing let me tell you a little bit about the series, and then I'm going to tell you something else interesting about the Chronos world. So, Kate Pierce Keller is the 16-year-old that I was talking about. She gets the medallion from her grandmother. Kate finds out that she can travel in time, and things start to change in her life. She doesn't believe it at first, but things start to change in her life, and then she begins to believe her grandmother is telling her the truth. And so she has to travel back in time to deal with the man who is messing with the timeline. And I think this is so interesting because I read a lot of time travel books, being a lover or of paranormal, and time travel falls under a lot of paranormal stuff. And which it's interesting because if you have asked me if I like speculative fiction and sci-fi, I would say no. But now that I'm in the booktube community and listening to people really parse out different genres, I'm realizing I do like speculative and sci-fi. They just fell under paranormal when I would search paranormal. And there's another series that's about to come out that is the most sci-fi speculative series you could think of, and I loved it. But you couldn't tell me that because I found it through a paranormal recommendation years ago. So this is another speculative kind of thing, thinking about time travel. And the channel New Rock Stars is a channel that talks about movies and, you know, comic book movies and things like that. And they have a system of time travel and I think that it comes down, Eric Voss is the one he's at you can find him on Twitter at EA Voss, and he has a system that says there's only 6 different types of time travel. All types of time travel in pop culture falls under these types, and it's this is one of the ones that it's like Back to the Future, where if you go back and start messing with your past, your present starts to be messed up. And so there are, and that's what the first book is about. But then Chronos is a historian society, and they are supposed to go back and observe, but obviously things keep happening. Saul Rand isn't content with simply observing. He wants to reshape history by creating a new religion and then stop anyone by means necessary who don't fall into line. In the Chronos Files, 17-year-old Kate travels through time to retrieve Chronos keys before they all fall into the hands of Saul and his Christs. They all while trying to thread through the past without erasing the memories of those she loved in her entire existence. And that happens a couple times, and it's very interesting when she comes home sometimes and she's messed up, you know, the whole situation. So for a very short period of time on Amazon, you could write in certain worlds, like your fan fiction would be sanctioned. And this was one of the main ones I saw people do books in. And so there's all these extra books from the Chronos Files universe series that have different people's names. So that's interesting. So those are some of the different kind of out of the way book series that I enjoyed over the years. And I would love to hear if you have some series like that. But I love just about everything. So please let me know about a smaller book, maybe a Kindle author or an author who has like a whole backlist of urban fantasy or magic or anything like that that might catch my attention. Put it down in the comment box. I'd love to check it out, and let me know if any of these books sound at all interesting to you. Let's let this video's emoji be some type of timepiece. And thank you so much for supporting me by liking and subscribing and ringing that bell to let you know whenever I show up here on the interwebs. And be easy on yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.